Hello, everybody. This is Siobhan Brimage of A Single Woman's Chronicles, and here is today's Ask a Single Woman's Chronicles entry video. So, if you haven't checked out the last video, I'm going to link it right here. My hands are ashy. Anyway, if you haven't checked out the last video, I'll link it right there and you can check it out. It was a great question. But today's question is from a man, and basically what he was asking is, he said that a lot of women are saying that chivalry is dead, right? Saying that men are not chivalrous anymore and so on and so forth. But he said, why are women also becoming less chivalrous? Very, very interesting question. So it had me actually Google the definition of chivalry. And basically, chivalry started in medieval times. It kind of described a knightly man, someone who exhibited courage, bravery, a whole bunch of those qualities during the medieval times. They would call that knight a chivalrous knight, right? So it also, another meaning that it has is how a man treats a woman, the behaviors of acts towards, from a man towards a woman specifically, right? So, so my take on this is we often we often do what is learned. So, if you're a man who is chivalrous, and when I say chivalrous, you're opening doors for your lady, you are walking on the sidewalk near the curb so they won't, that thing, and, just pulling out the chair, you possibly paying for the check on a date often, those types of things. That's what a man would do to be chivalrous towards a woman. So one example that he gave is that when a man does open a door for a woman, why doesn't the woman reach over to unlock the door for her man, or possibly open a door for a man? I'm not sure. Anywho, behaviors are learned. So if you grew up around a family, or your parents, or whoever you followed, and that was not something that was taught, that was not something that you saw, it's possible that you don't have those qualities, or those behaviors are not embedded in you to do. So I think one thing, if you are a man who is chivalrous and you want those things done towards you, you may have to teach your mate how to be chivalrous. You may have to teach your mate those qualities that you desire, and you may have to explain to them why they are especially important to you. And over time, I'm sure that your lady friend or whomever you're dating at the time will reciprocate. And I have a prime example. So right after I got separated from my husband, I started dating this dude, and he was a chivalrous type. So he opened doors for me. He made sure that I was straight as far as he exhibited those behaviors. Well, in my marriage, it wasn't necessarily that way. I did not have to do lady chivalrous things towards my husband. He didn't really do those things towards me as well, but so those behaviors weren't learned. And I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandfather definitely opened the doors. He washed cars. He drove on Sunday morning to church every Sunday morning. That probably was the only day that my grandmother let him drive her, but he did those things. But she did not reciprocate. She did not reach over and unlock his door. And I'm not sure of other examples of how a woman could be chivalrous, but she didn't do those things. So those weren't things that I learned at a young age by seeing, following what I saw. So I wouldn't necessarily do those things towards this guy that I started dating after my marriage. And, one time he spazzed out on me because I didn't do it. And, I had to explain to him, look, this is not something that I'm used to. But by you letting me know and acknowledging the fact that you desire this behavior from me, and it was not unreasonable for me to reach over and unlock your door and possibly pull your handle so your door will be open when you get there, I can do those things. And I just did it while I dated him. But it's not so common to me now, especially at this age at 40. I do see men opening doors and all that stuff. However, I have not encountered men who require me to reciprocate in that way. So in regards to this guy who wrote in, who asked the question, you may be in an environment where it's not common for a woman to be chivalrous. And when I say chivalrous, I mean opening doors or unlocking your door or whatever else goes along with that. Again, I'm not 100% sure what it is. Outside of, I personally think that, cooking a meal for a man and just making sure they're straight when they get home, if that's someone that you cohabitate with, those are some things that I value and that I do, because I feel like a man should be a protector, a provider, and all those things. So, and I want to be womanly, I guess you would call it, and do those things that I learned as a young adult, as a child, from my grandmother. She cooked, she cleaned, she did go to work, but she made sure that the house was straight. And those are some of the things that I think she reciprocated from my grandfather being chivalrous. So that is my answer for today for that question. If you have some insight on being chivalrous, man versus woman or woman versus man, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section below. And do you like my shirt? Brown, educated, and slaying. So if you are interested in the shirt, I have provided a link also in the comments, in the info section, and you can get it yourself. So again, this is my installment to A Single Woman's Chronicles for today. Ask A Single Woman's Chronicles. If you have a question for me or something that you would like for me to talk about, you can send me an email at info at asinglewomanschronicles.com, and I would definitely take a look at it and install it in my video series. Again, y'all have a great day. I'm going to enjoy, it's Friday. I'm going to enjoy this weather. It's supposed to be like 65 degrees where I am. Oh, loving it, and sunny. So have a nice day.